Wow, that was really something. What's up, YouTube fam? Welcome to the Jonathan Dearman Show. It's been a little while, and I'm actually working on creating a set location to start filming, probably in my garage. But until then, here you have me in the car on a summer day, and it's really hot. And by the way, when you film, you can't have the AC on. And so I'm roasting in here, but I'm doing it for you, okay? It's been a long time, but I'm officially back to starting making videos. Just a ton happened in the last year, good stuff. And all of that. But thank you for your patience, those of you that have been waiting for videos, and I'm officially back, so you can be expecting regular content starting with this video. All right, hey, I wanted to jump in first and foremost and talk about the debate. In fact, I wasn't planning on relaunching the channel or kind of restarting it or revamping it until maybe next week or a couple weeks from now, but I had to talk about this. It just, how could you not? So I want to give my initial thoughts of the debate, some of the fallout, and then we'll end with what I think is the funniest moment of the debate, which made me laugh out loud personally. I want to mention this. When Trump and Biden first debated in 2020, I was very clear. I thought Trump lost. I thought Trump came across like a bully. I thought Biden won that debate. I thought it was not a good look for Trump. And I came and I made a video. You can go check it out on this channel, where I stated that I thought Trump lost because honestly, he did lose. Oh, this debate was a different story though. This debate, I believe 100% Trump won this debate. And Biden lost this debate. And why is that? Well, first of all, I think it was not even as much based on substance, like policies and communication of policies and positions. I think for the most part, because neither one of these candidates are new candidates, I actually think that people for the most part know where they stand when it comes to policies. And so people are really looking for some other things. I think the biggest thing people were looking for when it came to Trump is, does he look composed? Does he look like he can come off not abrasive and not off-putting? Can he come off with some restraint and act somewhat presidential? I think that's what people are looking for with Trump. And I think that's what his goal was to show people that he can operate with restraint and self-control and look composed. And I thought he did that honestly pretty well. It wasn't perfect. I mean, there were moments in the debate, but overall, I thought he did that really well. He didn't interrupt. Even on the split screen, you can see that as Biden is saying things that are pretty provoking for Trump to respond to, that Trump remained silent until it was his time. And I think he played that really well. I think he had to have played it that way. If he didn't play that way, I think we'd be making a different video here. But I think he played it really well and really wisely by remaining restrained and composed. I think that was the goal for him. And I think he, for the most part, succeeded in his goal. I think Biden's goal was to look lively and to show that he's got energy and the cognitive ability to be president for another 4 years. And obviously, I think he really failed at that.
Making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the with the COVID, with dealing with everything we have to do with, look, if we finally beat Medicare.
It's saddening to watch that this is our president. And I know a lot of people make fun of him for it. That's not the tone that I prefer personally, because it's not something that's within his control. He's just getting older, not as energetic as he used to be, and doesn't have the cognitive ability that he used to have. And so I don't fault him for that. I just think there's disqualifying aspects to that to be the president. It was obviously a failure of a debate for him. He did not succeed in showing the American people that he has the energy and the liveliness to continue on for another 4 years. And here's how you know that Trump won and Trump played it well. Even the left-leaning media, CNN, ABC, CBS, all of the left-leaning media focused on Biden's performance. If Trump had not acted restrained, if Trump had not acted and withheld himself from being in some ways a bully, then he would have been the subject of their conversation, but he wasn't. Biden was the subject of their conversation because his performance was the glaring performance. And Trump's job was simply to have a debate where Trump's performance is not the glaring, in-your-face performance. And he did that. His was more restrained. The glaring performance was Biden's performance. And I think for that, I think Trump played it very strategically and won this debate. So where do we go from here? The Democrats are currently in all-out panic, divided in so many ways between whether or not they want Biden to drop out or continue running. If I had to put a guess on it of whether or not I think Biden's going to drop out, just based on what I've heard and the reports that are coming out, I would say that there's a likelihood, maybe 60%, that he's going to stay in the race, and maybe 40% that he's going to drop out. I've heard a lot of people, by the way, really villainizing Jill Biden, calling her power hungry Jill, and that she's just trying to keep Joe in there for her own ego and all of that. And I honestly think, based on what I've read and heard, I haven't seen anything that makes me feel like that's a fair characterization. Obviously, her encouraging Joe to stay in the race, which she is, has some problems to it because he's obviously in some mental decline. But attributing her motives to being power hungry, I just think is premature. Personally, I think there's not enough evidence to that. And I try to avoid assuming motives on people, because that can be done on anyone. And you want to take the evidence that's based. It's very possible that she is power hungry. It's very possible that she does just want him to remain president because she wants her name, the Biden name, to remain in the spotlight. That's very possible. It's also possible that she's trying to be supportive and be his cheerleader and say, hey, I still believe in you. You can do it. And there's been reports that he has supported her in the past with her pursuit of a higher education and been there for her. So it's also possible that she's trying to take that route. So my point is not that she's necessarily in the right. I actually think she should encourage him to step down, because, again, it's not his fault, but his cognitive ability is just no longer there. It's just not anywhere near where it should be for him to be the president. There are people that are trying to say, well, this is just a one-off with Biden. Everyone has a bad performance, but that's not accurate, because if that's all it is a bad performance, then what the Biden campaign needs to do is to bring Joe Biden out and have him do long-form interviews, answering a lot of on-the-fly questions, and just show the American people that it was a one-off event, that he really can answer with strategic responses, that he can flow well, that he has a sharp mind to go with the flow of a conversation and to answer questions and make decisions on the fly. But they can't do that because it's not a one-off thing. He's 81 years old and declining mentally rapidly. I also wanted to mention really fast, there's been a question about whether or not moderators should have gotten more involved to fact check. And in fact, that's kind of the left's whole take on this, is they're really focused on Biden because he was, again, the glaring performance in this debate. But they brought up many times Trump's lies, right? So they'll say Biden, they'll focus on him, and then they'll throw in there, but Trump did lie a lot. And that's kind of their one slam that they have on Trump right now. And what a lot of people are saying is that the moderators should have gotten more involved to fact check both sides, but especially they're saying Trump. I don't believe that moderators should try to fact check in real time. Now, reporters can always go back and in hindsight show everyone where people have missed it. And so that's incentive for the candidates not to lie, because they know they're going to be called out eventually. And I also understand that that's not when the peak viewership is there. So there are some people that will buy the lies. But here's what I believe. The call for moderators to get more involved is really in the absence of a strong candidate countering the argument. And I think Trump did that better than Biden. I think Trump countered the arguments and some of the lies that were told on Biden's side better than Biden did on Trump's side. And both sides, listen, honestly, I believe both sides told some lies. That's unfortunately the way the game is played in politics. I disagree with it. I dislike it. I can't stand it. But that's part of the way that the game is played, is that people say what they feel will benefit them, not what they feel is true most often. And I disagree with it on both sides. I don't like it from Republicans or Democrats, but I don't think the solution is for moderators to start getting more involved. It's just really tough to do it proportionally. It's really tough to do it fairly. It's really tough to know when you're supposed to step in, when you're not supposed to step in. It's really the candidate's job in real time to fact check the other person and to call out lies. I loved that the moderators, I thought they did a great job. Just let them talk, let the American people see what they're dealing with, and let the candidates check the other candidates and fact check them and point out if they're being dishonest. But there just wasn't a strong performance, particularly, like I said, on the Biden side. All right, and let me just mention the last thing that I thought was the funniest moment of the debate. Obviously, the golf argument, which in one case is, on one hand, is ridiculous that this is the conversation. But the funniest moment to me was not even the golf conversation. The funniest moment to me was when Joe Biden said he had a handicap that was +6. And that of all the things that ticked Trump off the most, this was the one that did the most. Watch this clip.
Look, I'd be happy to have a driving contest with him. The reason I got my handicap, which when I was vice president, down to a 6. And but by the way, I told you before, I'm happy to play golf with you if you carry your own bag. Think you can do it?
That's the biggest lie. He's a 6 handicap of all.
I was an 8 handicap.
Yeah.
8.
Never.
But I have, you know how many?
I've seen you swing. I know you swing.
Okay, let's
you know,
let's
you
not
know how
act
many
like
rounds-
children.
President Trump, we're going to
21
turn.
Let's
Right.
not act like children.
Oh my gosh. Am I the only one that makes laugh? Here's why it made me laugh so hard. Because Trump said that's the biggest lie of all. That of all the things that Biden could have said, the one that ticked him off the most, the one that really upset him, the biggest lie of all, was that his handicap was +6. I just loved and appreciate, as a competitive person, I appreciated and enjoyed watching his competitive nature come out. And just that of all the things that ticked him off and really got his blood boiling, it was that Biden said he was a +6 handicap while vice president and Trump was having none of it. So anyway, that was the funniest moment for me of the debate. I'd love if you guys let me know in the comments what you guys thought about the debate. Maybe what was the funniest moment, what was the saddest moment, or what are your overall thoughts? So leave it in the comments. And thanks so much for tuning in. I appreciate you all so much. You can be expecting new content starting right now on this channel. So thank you all. And until next time, I will see you all on the next Jonathan Dearman Show. Peace out.